Quick video, everybody, because the eclipses, will they shatter the British monarchy, the English monarchy, the royal family, as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested? Let's look at this more detail. Here is the birth chart, the horoscope of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor with the D9 of Amser. Now, I have this exact chart on my computer right now because I'm in the middle of doing the video, the end of my series on the D9. Some of you may have been following Rahu Ketu D9 coming up, and I'd kept his chart especially for that. Why? Because in the birth chart, he has his Sarpadosh. He has Rahu Ketu Kal Sarp Yoga or Kal Amrita Yoga. Either way, it's a huge dosh, and his chart is extremely afflicted. Solar eclipse happened 2 days ago. There's a video on my channel. Check it out. In the sign of Aquarius, in the 8th house of his chart. The 8th house is what is going away, what is being destroyed in a way, or at the best being transformed. This morning in the UK, as the sun conjuncts natal sun, it's his birthday, sun conjunct the sun. 66 years of age, the police knock on his door, sudden event, 8th house crisis, and they arrest him on suspicion of misconduct in public office. That is the charge. He's going to have to answer questions seriously now that he may have shared sensitive information with Epstein when he was associating with him, and he was a trade envoy. Sensitive and confidential information. Did he willingly, knowingly share it? That will be the issue. Now, that is not a minor offense. Misconduct while in public office, sharing confidential information, could give life imprisonment, albeit it's a very difficult charge to actually prove against anybody, because it has to be proved that he did it knowingly and willingly. That's the issue. But still, he is the first royal to be arrested in history by the police, unless we go back hundreds of years. And that wasn't the police, that was Charles I, who the Republicans executed. Wow, this is unprecedented in modern times. Eclipse on the sun, though, doesn't just affect him. First of all, sun in everybody's chart is ruler, government, and the king. So this eclipse affects the king specifically, who is his elder brother. It affects his family. Why? Because the sun is looking at the house of family. That's the thing. People are saying this will bring down the monarchy. Here is a birth chart of King Charles III at his coronation here. And I'm going to use here the D3, not Navamsa, because D3 is siblings chart for everybody. We're going to see just briefly each sibling and see why Andrew is the critical and the dangerous one for his status. Now, there's a video already on my channel, which I have to mention first of all, called King Charles III, Monarchy in Crisis, which I made 3 years ago at the time of the coronation. At that time, there was an eclipse in his 10th house of status just the day before he was crowned. Wow, it was showing that there's going to be some crisis happening. And I also said that he was going to have some serious ill health due to his dasha, and he has certainly had that. He's been really seriously ill. He may still be. Thing is, though, that I also predicted that before 2029, the monarchy under Charles would undergo an existential crisis. Well, here it is. Let's get back to the sibling chart then. How can we see that Andrew could become seriously troublesome for him? Well, I'm not going to go into how we derive this, but if you are Vedic astrologer, you will understand that the D3 is your sibling and the 3rd house is your youngest sibling first. Second is 3 away, and 3rd younger sibling would be here. He has 3. And each house tells us about that sibling and how they affect him. And he is in the ascendant, shown here to be Scorpio. That's the first sign that siblings are going to be dangerous for him. Why is that? Because Scorpio in any Varga chart shows that that chart will have difficulty for the individual. So Scorpio ascendant is him in relation to his siblings. So there's some secret, difficult, stressful stuff going on. But which sibling is it? It's fairly easy to see. First, youngest is Anne. It's Capricorn. There is no planets here, but Saturn has gone behind with Guru. So she is doing good stuff for the family. She's down to earth. She's traditional. She's supporting the family because Guru is with the Lord, Saturn. So she's okay. We'll come back to Andrew. Edward, perfectly okay. Venus in Taurus, Venus so strong in own sign. He's going to have a lovely wife, a happy relationship, could be that, but he's solid and sound. Venus Taurus, not afflicted, that's okay. Now, Pisces represents Andrew, Pisces sign, two lords, no planets are here, Jupiter and K2. Jupiter's not the problem, it's in the second house of family with Saturn, okay, but it's not too bad because Jupiter's in Sagittarius' own sign. It's the battlefield. He gets success. He gets glory when he goes to war, which he did in the Falklands War. That's one side of things. But K2 is the other lord. Here is a K2, the problem. It's a Sarpa always for Andrew. As I showed you in his chart, Sarpa Dosh, K2 is the snake. And Mongala is aspecting K2. Who is this Mars? Mars is Charles from Scorpio. Mars is afflicting K2. Mars takes away his status. Charles has to deal dramatically and drastically with Andrew. Why? Right now, in the sign of Aquarius, the solar eclipse has just happened on this K2. It's just been eclipsed. It's a crisis for Charles because this is Charles's sibling chart. More than that, 2 weeks after, we are going to have the lunar eclipse up here on Rahu, on the status of the king in his D3 chart. Wow, this is extremely troublesome. To bring it back to the birth chart, of course, King Charles had the solar eclipse in the house of crisis because he is Cancer ascendant. And the lunar eclipse, this is worse. 2 weeks from now, beginning of March, afflicts Saturn. This is really dangerous for Charles. Why is it dangerous, everyone? Because Saturn in Leo, the sign of the king, to have Saturn, sorrow, difficulty, in the sign of the king, in a monarch's chart, is a seriously bad placement. And I spoke about this on my Charles III chart analysis, as I say, linked below. I said, this is the vultures circling Charles. Who are the vultures? The Republicans who want to bring down the monarchy, destroy him, but the whole monarchy. They are circling here. And the eclipse is happening right here, 2 weeks' time. It's more than that because eclipse shows information coming out. As I spoke on my eclipse video, Saturn can show untruth. Has he been totally open about what happened with Andrew, what he knew about Andrew? His mother dealt with it and passed it on to him, but has he dealt with it properly? Did he know stuff? More things may come out. Does this mean that Charles III, King of the United Kingdom, will have to abdicate? Well, he's in Jupiter Dasha, he's in Jupiter Mars now. That's terrible. And this affects his son because Mars in this chart in Scorpio is William in the 5th house, his first child, William. This affects William deeply during this Jupiter-Mars dasher of King Charles. And the next thing is that he goes from June onwards into Jupiter Rahu, the continuing health crisis, Guru Chandal effect, dangerous to his status. He may have to abdicate, or he may be so sick that he can't carry on. Whatever, it's going to affect William. Whatever happens now, it's William who is going to have to pick up the pieces from the crisis. That is for sure. Check out what the eclipses mean for you. It's on the screen right now, and also my previous video about King Charles III. You're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now. God bless everyone.